Okay. Okay. Hello everyone, we are live right now. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day today. Hey everyone. Oh, it does. You're right, Mason. I'm doing good, Dixon. How are you? You're almost at rank 300 on Red Dead. That's good. I think I'm probably going to get up to rank 500 before GTA 6 comes out. Well, amen, if you could just not discuss, hang on. Wait 1 second here. Amen, I'm sorry for removing your comment. I didn't time you out, but just, I'm not really gonna talk about the Mafia the Old Country spoilers because there's still people who haven't finished it and I want to be fair to them. Basically, I did think that the ending was, really sad. Yeah. Well, thank you, Isaiah, for, sponsoring the channel. What do I think of the UK internet laws? I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna probably on Monday. I'm gonna research it a bit and then just talk about it and give my thoughts on it. But it sounds stupid. No, it's okay. You're good, Amen. You're good. Don't worry about it. Cause damage in the area. Okay. Oh, thank you, SpongeBob. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. I love Red Dead 2. Nice shots. Thank you. Yeah, I've been practicing with free aim. I want to get better with free aim. Oh, crap. No. What the? Okay.
You'll die by my hand.
And look at that, guys. I'm getting way better with free aim. Do you have a list of games you want to play or whatever you feel like? We're gonna be doing Metal Gear Solid 2, finishing it up, but now that I've finished, Mafia: The Old Country, it'll be a lot easier to put out Metal Gear Solid videos. I'm gonna wrap up Metal Gear Solid, and then we're gonna start up Mafia 2, and we'll also do, we'll also be doing Metal Gear Solid Delta. You know, that's, I know, the new one people have requested. And yes, I got a cosplay for that, too. Favorite map in the Mafia series? Probably, I'd say probably Empire Bay. Okay, thank you, Brandon. Did you get it, Wild Gunner Gaming? Did you get the mission? Yeah, see that shot? Look at that. Look at that shot, too. That one. Nice, right? All free aim. Got way better at this. Question for Patrick in the chat. If you could own any fictional car from your favorite movie, TV series, or video games, what would it be and why? Any car from a fictional, any fictional car.
Oh, hell, not again.
How do you practice? It's all about timing. Free aim is all about timing. It's, I guess Mafia: The Old Country helped me with it, because Mafia: The Old Country is all free aim. But it's about just, the trick to free aim is just leaning into the target and just knowing where the target is gonna go. Timing is everything. Maybe, I don't know, this doesn't really count as a fictional vehicle, but maybe Gran Torino from the movie Gran Torino. That's that iconic car from that movie. Cold-blooded with strange medicine. Okay, Amen. Are you gonna do bounties? I need to make money? Yeah, we'll make money for these bounties. Is it my favorite Clint Eastwood movie, Gran Torino? Yeah, I think so. What's my desired vacation? Usually I like to go on vacation in Las Vegas, but if you're talking about foreign visits, I would have, 2 places I'd like to go on vacation that I've never seen. Switzerland and Hokkaido in Japan. His desired vacation is a big shell complex. I'm good. Find M4 and strut F. Okay, thank you for telling me about that, William. I'll make sure to get it.
You signed your life away, you know.
Any video games may want to visit Hokkaido? Maybe Hitman. Also liked it from, the anime Golden Kamuy. I like that one, too. Mafia 2 next? Yes, but we're gonna get through a little bit of Metal Gear Solid before we get to it. Is it? It's in Yakuza 5, Anthony. It's open world there? This week coming up, Zach. story mode 100% what on Red Dead? No, I've never have.
Dullard.
Fool's Gold when he cosplays Ned Kelly, huh?
In
Well,
there.
I'm,
Careful. This
uh,
one bites.
maybe I'll see it if I do
Your
it.
reward.
But if you hold the aim button and L1, you can run and aim at the same time instead of stopping. Oh, really? Thank you, Raiden's Wig. I didn't know that. By the way, do I suck in my Metal Gear Solid 2 playthrough? I'm trying my best. It's just, I'm just not used to it, but I'm trying my best. In Strut F, the PSG-1 and PSG-1 Tranquilizer. Okay. Where in Strut F is the PSG-1? That's a sniper rifle. I know that one. German sniper rifle, semi-automatic. No, you're doing fine. Like I said yesterday, it's a controller system you aren't used to. Well, thank you. PSG-1 is in second and upstairs in level 3 door. Isn't Metal Gear Solid Delta supposed to have a multiplayer mode that's supposed to come out? I heard about that. The original didn't have that, did it? What is the multiplayer even gonna be on Metal Gear Solid Delta? You can use cigarettes to help steady the sniper rifle, huh? That I didn't know. Oh yeah, Tino was a scumbag. You know, Tino is, Tino was a massive scumbag. Also, I want to know, I don't really want to spoil it too much for, don't really want to discuss spoilers, but just, if you guys could tell me in the comments if you agree with me on this. Do you agree with me that Don Teresi is the most evil Don in the Mafia series? I think he's probably the worst one. I think he is the most evil one. I think he's even worse than Spadaro. I do think he's worse than Spadaro. But that's what I think about Teresi, is I think he's the worst, you know, the most evil Don in the entire Mafia series out of all 4 games.
Wow, been a while since you've been back, hasn't it? So,
Browse
what are you aiming
catalog.
for today?
Well, for me, it would be the Vapid Bullet GT from the HD era of GTA, which is a 2005 Ford GT in real life. Well, thank you, Dixon, for the super chat. I really like the Sentinel that was in GTA 4. I think that's a BMW car in real life, but I did like that car in GTA 4. Pistol cartridges, Express.
I sold my old blunderbuss to a bounty hunter last week. That boy's out looking to get someone, that's for sure. It's yours now. Anything else?
Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, Unknown Notion, for the super chat. And what's your question, Lucas? Okay, guys, we'll try Fool's Gold. I just really hope we don't run into sweats because I'm really not in the mood for this. Like, I want a challenge, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to encounter, like, those, hang on, wait, I don't want to encounter, like, those ridiculous, you know, sweats that have, like, no lives in this game. Thank you, Cayman, for the super chat. Is Don Salieri from Sicily? Yes. Well, I think Torrisi is, you know, worse, I think Teresi's the worst Don because it's just how he treats his daughter. I think that just personally makes him the worst person. I missed your milestone? Oh. Let me see. People are starting to harass others for remotely liking any forms of AI. If you do as much as ChatGPT, people get generally upset. Help me. People shouldn't be getting upset at you. You know, I used... and I'll tell you that... Hold on a second. Let me just fix my camera here, because I gotta fix my, my controls here for, Oh, come on. Damn. Can't even... Okay. Here we go. Automatic pin switching? What is this? Okay. Yeah, I'll try it, Bonnie. Oh, hang on. I turned on inverted controls. This is bad right now. Okay. Thank you, William, for telling me about that. Is it okay to still buy a brand new car if your parents want it? Because I know that you say that buying a new car is not worth it, but I'm thinking that if your family wants it, then it's okay. I don't think that buying a new car is worth it. I just don't. Even if I had the money for it, I probably would not buy a new car, no. I would buy always used. And I've been driving the same car since 2017, and that's good enough for me. Like, I don't need a new car. Damn! Oh my god, he's using, Slippery. That's what that was. I should have seen that coming. Got him. Ah, great. Oh my god, how did those shots not even hit him? That's a Lancaster, of course. That's what he's gonna use. It's, Oh no. Okay. Oh. Here. Oh, man. Yeah. People use Slippery on this game and stuff like... If I see him use Slippery, I'm just gonna use Incendiary Rounds next time. Brandon, you've got to get kills with that armor to score. Lancaster. Any plans on playing Fallout New Vegas? Yeah, I'll play it in the future. Okay, at least it's not a Lancaster. Something else besides that damn gun. Oh my god. Got him there. That might have been a little cheap, but... Okay. Yeah, it's slippery. Try using slippery on me when I'm running a semi-automatic shotgun. It's not going to work so well for you. Come on. Okay. What the? Oh. I didn't even know that you could use those on... I think you used bolas on me. I think that's what that was. Damn. Oh, man. Yeah, I should start running slippery when I'm playing this mode. Honestly, so many people are using slippery, I might as well just use the incendiary rounds. Okay. Damn. Got me. Carcano. Oof. He's using slippery, watch out! Damn. Lancaster, man, you're doing great, thank you. Do you plan to create Mafia the Old Country lore videos in the future? Also, do you think Luca is the only true friend to Enzo? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Jesus, for the super chat. And also, the guy who was asking about the new car, I'm sorry I didn't answer you enough. I was just, really focused on the chat. Well, I'm really focused on the game, I mean. 38 kills and 9 deaths, yeah. Oh, man, 34 kills and 8 deaths. Okay, so yeah, we ran into some sweats. There's no way that guy's level 88. There's no way. That guy made a new character. There's no way that he's a new player. 100%. No way. That guy definitely made a new character or a new account. But, what I was gonna say about the new car thing here is I think that buying a new car is stupid, personally. I do think it's stupid. The reason I think it's stupid is because new cars, they are worth, they cost so much money. Like, literally, driving, I was driving my dad the other day and drove past a dealership and saw cars that were priced over $50,000. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, literally, in the Midwest where I live, like, you could buy an apartment for $50,000. It's not going to be necessarily a nice apartment, but there are certain, you know, places that you can actually buy for around that, maybe a little bit more, maybe like $70,000, but it's still, you could buy even a home in some places for that money. So, like, spending, like, something like $50,000 in a car, I think that that's ridiculous. Even if it's $40,000, I think that that's just way too much money. And also, cars lose, like, I think... Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this. There's probably somebody in the comments that knows more about cars than me. But don't cars like lose like 40% of their value within like 3 years? It's like 40 or 50% of their value. It's like 3 years. So that like that 50 grand car is gonna be like what 25 grand in like 3 years. So that's it. So a car is not an investment. A car is just something that's gonna go down in value. So literally, it's just the dollars just falling. What's Grand Theft Auto 5 about? It's about like a Midwestern heist crew that goes out to the West Coast. They meet up after several years, and they meet a new character from the West Coast, and they get involved in a series of heists and with a corrupt government agency as well, blackmailing them. Thank you, son of a pirate, for the super chat. But yeah, that's basically it, guys, is like, cars are just not a good investment. Now look, I'm not saying to get a crappy car or a piece of crap car, but look, you could probably get like a 5 or 6 year old car that's, you know, it's still a new car, like 5 or 6 years, and you could save so much money by buying that type of car. Now, I know that there's risks with buying a used car, that it could, like, you know, you could have it break, or there could be things that people don't tell you about, but I guess that's why, you know, the best thing that you can do in that situation, I guess, is to look at the Carfax, but also to, if you know somebody that knows cars, like, you know, a family member, a friend that knows cars, just ask them, hey, can you please come with me, take a look at this car, and, like, even if you don't necessarily know somebody, like, that's close to you, at least get somebody that you at least trust. And maybe, like, you know, give like a mechanic, like, you know, $100 or something like that, and, like, say, hey, can you drive a few miles with me to, like, take a look at this car and just take a look at it and tell me if there's anything wrong with it? You know, here's some cash, if you could just take a look at that. And, you know, most people don't do that, but, you know, at least the mechanic is, and the mechanic really has no reason to lie to you, because he's getting, you know, paid at that point, right? It's not like he's the one selling you the car. So, you know, it's like you can find some good mechanics. You can give them like $100, be like, hey, can you come check out this car with me and just tell me if it's, you know, there's anything you can find wrong with it. And that's it. That's, you know, that's how you do it. I think that, that spending that money on a new car is, you know, a waste, personally. And about my car's from 2017, or 2013. My car is from 2013. And it's a car from 2013, so it's a 12-year-old car at this point, but I got it in 2017. And I've been driving that car for, you know, more than 8 years at this point. I will say about that car is, if I wanted to, I could get a new car right now, but I am just gonna keep driving that same car until it falls apart. That's basically how it is. Until the car is just too expensive to fix, like, if it gets so many problems that it's just, like, too expensive to fix, that's the point where I'm gonna get rid of it. But if I can keep driving that car, I'm gonna keep driving that car, because I just see it as something to get me from point A to point B. I'm not in the mood to, like, show off. I'm not in the mood to, like, show people, oh, this is my, you know, cool car and stuff like that. I like my car. It's a fine car, and that's just basically it. So I'm just gonna drive it until it's, you know, done. That's the way I personally see cars. It's a 328i 2013, Zach 42. I think that Sam is worse than, you know, I think that Sam is worse than, yeah, I think Sam is the worst one. Because Sam really has no regrets about what he did. But I don't really want to, who's that? Well, a lot of people think that Enzo's child is probably going to be who you're going to play as in the next Mafia game. That's what people think. A lot of people are speculating on that. Because Enzo's child would be in their 30s at the time of Mafia 2. So that's who people are speculating you're going to play as. I'm gonna, yeah, I will, I want to play all the Call of Juarez games, including the Cartel. People said the Cartel game is the worst one, but... Joe, no. Joe is not, Enzo's son. People are saying that, no, that theory is BS. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Isabella would give birth in, like, 1907 or 1908. Vito was born in the 1920s. Vito was, how old was he? He was 18 in 1943. That means that he was born in 1925 then. And so Joe is around the same age as Vito. So no, Joe is not Enzo's son. No, that is not true. No. Do you know what I thought, what I believed? Do you know who I thought was gonna be Enzo's son? You know who I thought it was gonna be? But it was, I didn't want to say it during the playthrough, but it's not true, so people don't worry, it's not a spoiler. But I thought that Enzo's son was gonna be Henry. That's what I thought, because Henry would match that age, like in the 30s. That's what I thought. I thought Henry was gonna be Enzo's son. That was, that's basically what I believed. But it was, but it's not true. It's not his. And also, now that I thought about it, is Henry has like the most non-Italian name in the entire series. So it is very much it is very much an American name, and I never really looked at that. Yeah, his name is Henry, and he claims that he's from Sicily. That is not a Sicilian name. After World War II, was Japan going to be divided like Germany at first? Yes. Well, yes and no. The Soviets took Sakhalin from Japan, South Sakhalin, which Japan had controlled. It used to be part of Russia. And the Soviets actually wanted to occupy Hokkaido. Truman actually told Stalin, no, we will not allow you to occupy Hokkaido. We will not allow you to occupy Japan. And Truman even told the Soviets if they try to occupy Japan that the U.S. will attack them. And so Stalin backed off. And so Stalin did not occupy Japan. So that's basically what I'll say about it, is that, that was, that the U.S. really saved Japan. They did. Because if Japan was divided up like Germany was, you would have had another North and South Korea situation. You would have had that, like, North Japan or Hokkaido would have been a communist state. That would have been really bad. So that would have, that Japan will be divided even to this day. So it's, that's basically what I'll say about it, is the U.S. really saved Japan by not letting the Soviets take a part of it. If you had a time machine, would I go to the past or the future? If the past, which historical event would it be? I would like to see the American Revolution. That is what I would be the most curious on seeing. That part specifically, Dixon. Thank you for the super chat. Isn't the child a girl? We don't know that the child is a girl. Back then, in the 1900s, there really was no way to tell if the child was going to be a boy or a girl. You didn't know what the child was going to be. They didn't really have, X-rays, CAT scans, all that stuff back then. They didn't have that. So you didn't know. Just Enzo basically told Isabella that if the child's is a girl, let's name her Rosa. That's basically what he told Isabella, but that's not proof that the child is going to be a girl. Explain the bowling night retail rant, Patrick. Oh yeah, so many years ago when I was actually streaming, I actually had my manager call me when I was still working in retail. And my manager called me, and he even, texted me. And he said, I need you to come over now. And basically, what my manager said to me is, I ended a stream early so that I could talk to him. I remember it was a GTA stream. And my manager had actually said to me that somebody had called out, I can't come into work today, and today's bowling night, and I can't miss it with my family, so I need you to come in. And, talking to me like that, even just saying, today's bowling night, I gotta spend time with my family, it's like, I don't have a family, I don't have responsibilities, I don't have the right to have time off. So that's basically what I'll say about it, it's really not a nice thing. Thank you, Pirate, for the super chat. Prosebi, would it be to do a horse race, I need to win one race. We are gonna sell my moonshine first, and then we can do the horse race because I wanted that I want to get rid of that moonshine. No, I did not have a union when I worked in retail. If you got a union, you'd get fired. I think that Mafia: The Old Country is the best Mafia game in the series. You know, I know people might disagree with me on that, but I think it was. Like, would you guys agree with me that Mafia: The Old Country is the best Mafia game? Yeah, I'm not saying the other Mafia games suck, but I think that Mafia: The Old Country was the best one. Out of all the other three. And the thing is, I did not expect Mafia: The Old Country to be so good. Like, I did not expect that. Like, I thought the game was going to be okay, and I thought I was going to fairly enjoy it, but I did not expect it to be that good. Like, it was really good. Like, I didn't expect it to be that good. I guess after Mind's Eye, because I got my hopes up with Mind's Eye. I really did get my hopes up with Mind's Eye. Like, I put my trust in Leslie Benzies. I was like, there's no way he's going to mess this game up. You know, this is the guy who made San Andreas. I was like, there's no way he's going to mess this game up. This game is going to be great. It's going to be one of the best open world games ever. And then Mind's Eye released, and then you saw what happened with Mind's Eye. And so that basically made me lose faith in a lot of games. But it's like, at least Mafia: The Old Country somewhat restored it, at least. Okay, Brandon. Explain evilness of Ottomans during World War I Central. The Ottoman Empire was the most evil faction during World War I. Like, they were the most evil group. A lot of factions were pretty bad during World War I. Like, the French were bad, the Germans were bad, the British were bad, the Russians were bad, but the Ottomans were just a whole nother level. Like, the Ottomans were the Ottomans were literally they were the worst. Where's Evergreen Moonshine? I don't have anything on here. The Ottomans killed between like 1 to 2 million Armenians during World War I, the Armenian genocide. They ethnically cleansed people. Like, it was not the Ottomans were so brutal, so violent. The Ottomans were committing genocide during World War I. And they deny it. That's true. The modern day Turkey denies the genocide. That is true. Okay. Oh wait, let me go back to forming the posse. What am I doing? I forgot I'm the one that's supposed to start the race. Okay. Everyone rejoin the posse. I'm sorry about that. It's my bad. Yes, Berserker, I do think so. Bro, why does society look down on essential workers that keep society running? Some people say that these workers aren't living up to their potential and have no ambition to grow their career. I'll say about that is that do you know where this stuff came from? Like, looking down on, like, you know, workers like that? You know where this stuff originally comes from? So what people won't tell you. This comes from the college propaganda. That is essentially what this comes from. What happened was, the thing is, America, for most of America's history, America has been a manual labor, you know, country for most of its history. You know, America respected like manual labor more than like, you know, office work, for example. Like, you know, manual labor jobs were heavily respected throughout American history, like, you know, factory workers, you know, train workers, you know, even taxi drivers, you know, what am I thinking? Oil workers, you know, so like manual workers were respected heavily in America. Like, you know, for example, like, you know, back in the 1970s, if you were working at like a factory in like in Detroit, like manufacturing cars, that was considered like a prestigious job. Like people, like Americans really respected those jobs. But now if we look at it today, if you say that you're working in a, you know, factory, you know, making cars, people aren't going to look at that as like a prestigious job. People like look down on that. The reason that that has happened is because of the college propaganda. What's happened was that a lot of the college propaganda has basically spread, and it's infected people's minds. And what it does is it basically makes people have this sense of entitlement in their heads, thinking that if you don't go to college, that you are a failure. People think that if you don't go to college, that you're some kind of delinquent. They think that you're stupid, you're dumb, you're lazy, you know, a bunch of, you know, stuff like that. And so these people, I will say about that, some of these people are so ignorant that even if you are rich, you're a millionaire, but you never went to college, they will look down on you like you're stupid still. So that's basically what I'll say about that, is the college propaganda has, like, you know, created this sense of elitism, where, you know, people think that they are basically better than, like, you know, manual labor workers. And, totally wrong. Well, you can explain to me how I'm wrong, but I will tell you that growing up in New York, I knew plenty of people like that. I knew plenty of people in New York who were like that, who they looked down on people who did not go to college, and they thought that the people were, like, you know, they thought the people were idiots for not going to college. They thought they were stupid. I'm not saying that college is a bad thing. I'm not saying don't go to college. The only thing I'm saying about it is I'm saying that there's this elitism mentality where people think that, oh, I started a bounty. Let me just do this bounty really quick and then we'll do the race. That a lot of people think that if you don't go to college that you're stupid. What do you mean, Shiplord? I think not going to college gives less job opportunities. It depends. It depends how you look at it. Some people might argue that going to college gives you actually less job opportunities, because some people some people do not want to hire college graduates. Some people think that, like, some employers, when they look at college graduates, they think that college graduates are going to complain or, like, be sensitive, or they think that they're going to, like, make a scene at their jobs. And so because of that, they won't hire them. There actually was, like, a survey done where I think, like, 40% of employers said they would not consider a college graduate because they think that they'll complain or cause a scene at the workplace. And so that is, there are people who avoid people just because of their college education. What about trade schools? Well, trade school isn't really college. It's a, you know, it's a school that basically teaches you, you know, essentials about whatever job and field you want to go into. Okay, hang on.
The fresh fish gotta learn how to be true Lemon Raiders. I'm gonna whoop you good. You're done! Meet your maker.
Teresi is Salieri and Falcone's evil twin. I think that Teresi is the worst, the most evil boss in the entire series. Thank you, Tommy Angelo Jr. It depends what you go to college for. Many college degrees are useless as far as having a successful career, yeah. You know, like, I will tell you guys a story about this. And thank you, Eric, for the super chat. Crap. Okay, hang on. Let me look at my, Oh, here we go. Okay, this. Aim assist turn. Okay, so I will, I'll tell you guys a story. Why college is not always worth it. My half-brother, he went to college. He didn't go to college in America, he went to college in Poland, but my half-brother, he went to college for years. And do you know, he spent, you know, thousands of zloty, which is Polish money, and he got a degree. I don't even remember if it was a bachelor's or what it was, but I just remember it was a degree. And you know what he got a degree in? He got a degree in philosophy. And after he got that degree in philosophy, he acted very entitled, and he basically believed that he was entitled to a job. He thought that just because he had that philosophy degree that people should hire him based on just that alone. And he was just non-stop complaining when he could not find a job and nobody was hiring him based on that. He was just non-stop complaining. And now, do you think that, don't you think that putting those skills to, like, better use, maybe, like, learning a trade, would have been better than, like, learning philosophy? I'm not saying that philosophy is, like, garbage, but just don't expect to get a job from it. And philosophy is something that you can read on your own. Like, you can look up every single philosopher online, you know, Socrates, you know, Plato, you know, you can look up Voltaire, Thomas Paine. There is just so many philosophers that, like, you can look up online and look up all of their works. Like, I recently purchased the book Common Sense by an American philosopher, Thomas Paine. I got, like, halfway through the book. But the thing is you can learn about philosophers just by, like, you know, reading their books and reading about them online. You don't even need a degree for that. But my half-brother, he basically believed that he was entitled to a job because of that degree, and he was just non-stop complaining. And you know what he ended up doing? He ended up doing photography in the end. And he actually started making a lot of money selling pictures to magazines. So he sold pictures to, like, magazines and newspapers, and he made a lot of money doing that. And that had really nothing to do with his, you know, college education. But the thing is, if you brought that up to him and you would say to him, well, you know, your college education was useless. He's never written anything philosophical. He would basically get mad. He's like, no, it helped me find a job, but it had nothing to do with it. It was just nothing. So that's what I say is he was just nonstop complaining that he couldn't find a job at first, and was just thought he was entitled to a job just because he finished a degree in philosophy. So basically what I'll say to you is if you go to college, there's nothing wrong going to college, just don't be stupid like my half-brother and go for something useless like philosophy. Luca is a character from Mafia: The Old Country. Who's your favorite character from Mafia: The Old Country? I like Enzo, but Luca is the best one in my opinion. Yeah, Luca probably too. Thank you, Mr. Jesus, for the super chat. Thank you, I'm glad you're enjoying my Men of Valor playthrough. My troll scammer is actually pretend to be from the Epsilon program. Oh. I think Don Teresi was an, you know, evil man. It wasn't just about his anger, it was just about him, just, you know, being a, you know, a terrible person. Now, I mean, Leo had a temper, too. Leo Galante had a temper. You saw that in Mafia 2. But Leo was not an evil person. That's what I'll say about that. Yes, Berserker. Could you do crossplay on Reddit Online? Crossplay is not on Reddit Online. It's not. Yeah, it's just not available. Yeah, he was a terrible father too.
I'll get out of this one way or another. Hey, there!
What do I think of No Din DM's assassination? Well, he was assassinated by a bunch of South Vietnamese generals, who thought he was too extreme, and it was supported by the U.S. My brother still thinks not going to college will make me a failure. Meanwhile, he dropped out of high school. High school, everybody should finish high school. It's free. You know, everybody should finish it. You get some education, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like college, you don't necessarily need to be successful. There's only one ending in Mafia: The Old Country.
You on something?
All Teresi cared about was his own reputation. That's true. I don't think that he even loved his daughter. I don't think so. People mistake protection for love, but it's not the same thing. He saw his daughter as a tool to basically advance his own political and business interests. He wanted his daughter to marry the Baron's son, just an aristocrat's son, just so that he could have, like, you know, more power and influence. That's basically what that was about. That's ultimately what it was. Enzo's my favorite because he's similar to Link and Clay. Both lost people and good with stealth. He could be related to his granddad. Thank you, Tommy Angelo Jr. for the super chat. I think that Enzo's child is definitely going to be a huge part of the next Mafia game. I think 100% is going to be a huge part of the next Mafia. Why do you think Leo is the consigliere of the Vinci crime family? I think he's more powerful than Frank. He could build his own family. You are very smart, Jonathan. You are very, very intelligent. You noticed that. And I've seen that exact same thing too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Is Leo smarter than Frank? Oh yeah. Would Leo be a better boss than Frank? Oh yeah. But here's the thing. Leo was in a position to be the boss of the family after his after basically what happened. I don't want to get spoilered. But Leo was in the best position to be the boss, but he made his best friend Frank the boss, and instead they wanted to be consigliere. There's a reason for that. I don't want to spoil it here, because if I discuss it, it's going to be spoiling, and I know people haven't completed the story, so I want to be fair to them. But what I will say about that is, I'm going to have a video in a couple days, and the video that I'm going to have in a couple days, it's going to be a video about all the Mafia: The Old Country characters, like that appear in other Mafia games, and their fates. And I'm actually going to explain that. So, Jonathan, look out for that video, because I will explain that. I will explain why didn't Leo want to be boss. I will explain that. But there's a reason for that. Because Leo could have been boss, but he made Frank boss instead. But I will explain it. Just make sure you keep an eye out for that video when I post it. Pro, ever seen that GTA VR video with Stephen Ogg? Damn, his energy is contagious. Oh yeah, that one. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was that parody. Yeah, I remember it too. That was a funny one too. It's still when he liked Trevor as a character, but then later he just he got pissed about Trevor. Thank you, Unknown Notion, for the super chat. What's your opinion on the internet laws? Those laws will affect GTA 6 age verification too. Well, isn't that only for America or Britain though? Like, I don't think that that's for, I don't think that age verification thing is in America, is it? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it only Britain? That one I'm gonna work on too, Dreadnought, but I want to get this Mafia video done first. Oh, you got to meet Leo's new actor. Oh, that's really cool, Anthony. Did he know about Leo before before he recorded the role for him. Why do I dislike John Cena? Look, John Cena has done some really good things, like his charity. Like, he's a very charitable person. He's donated a lot to charity, so he's helped kids out a lot. He's a fairly nice guy if you meet him in real life, but my problem with John Cena is that, about him just basically apologizing to the Chinese government. And that really cringy video he uploaded, like, years ago, where he was, like, speaking in Chinese and he, like, apologizing for offending the Chinese government. Like, when I personally saw that, that was just, like, you know, I just lost so much respect for him. The thing, you want to know the thing about John Cena? You want to know what I'll tell you about John Cena? You know what you can't see? John Cena can't see Taiwan. That's what he can't see. You are very smart, Menace. Very, very smart. But I'm going to explain it in a video. Leo would never testify against Salieri, and Leo would never testify against anybody, even people he didn't like. He's just, Leo is not a rat. He would never do that. Are you familiar with Paul Ricca and Sham Giancana? I think they have similarity with Leo and Frank Vinci. Paul and Leo let their friend be the boss. Where are they? Remind me who they are again, Jonathan. It sounds familiar, but Salieri's probably dead by Mafia 3, yeah. And also, Menace, I'm letting you know one thing. It's not just about the police. The other reason that Leo doesn't want to be the boss is also because of what he saw happen. That's basically, I don't want to, you know, talk anymore, but you know what I mean. You should play The Great Escape. I actually did play The Great Escape when I was a kid. It's a PS2 game about, like, the World War II game where you're trying to escape. I know the game. It's a stealth game. I played it when I was a kid. I actually do like that game. Snack banning in California? What the hell is that? I don't think they're gonna do the next game in Empire Bay. You know, people are saying you're gonna play as, you know, Enzo's son in, like, Empire Bay. No, I don't believe that. I don't think they're gonna go back to Empire Bay. I think they're gonna do a new city. People think it's Las Vegas, probably. That's what people think. Because the Mafia has a huge presence in Las Vegas. But what I probably think is gonna happen, because here's the thing, Enzo's son, if the Las Vegas setting is correct, like people believe it's the 1970s, if the Las Vegas setting is correct, that means that Enzo's son would be about in his 60s at the time of Las Vegas in the 70s. So he wouldn't be necessarily old, but he wouldn't be young, but he's probably not gonna be a playable character. But if anything, his son might be the playable character. So the character that you play as in the next game might be the son of Enzo's son. That's who you might play as. Because if Enzo's son has a child in the 50s, for example, that means that the child will be in their 20s in the 70s. Guys, can you let Sebi win this race? He only needs to win one more race for the trophy. Can you let him win? If you could please let Sebi win the race. It's supposed to be a corrupt cop as a protagonist. Nah, I don't want to play as a corrupt cop. I want to play as a gangster. No, no, no. I would not be for that. You're very considerate professional. I like that about you. Thank you, Shiplord. Oh, the Chicago outfit. Okay, Menace. I like the soundtrack in the final mission in The Old Country. It's like really depressing but apocalyptic at the same time too. What do you mean, D? You want compromise? How's this? 20 years of hard labor in the mine. Oh, man. I could, Goose, yeah. I loved The Great Escape when I was a kid. General, please let Sebi win the race. Brandon? Yeah, please let Sebi win the race, too. You are spot on, Menace. You are spot on that. It's exactly that. But just let's not talk about Mafia: The Old Country anymore, guys, because there are still people who have not completed the game, and I don't want to ruin the game for them. I appreciate you putting Mafia videos out at your own pace, rather than rushing through it on easy mode like some channels do. Great work. Wait, so... Wait. Am I one of the few channels that did it on hard? Really? I thought that most people played it on hard. So wait, most YouTubers are playing it on easy? Really? I didn't know that. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. So that's how they managed to get those videos out so quickly, because they're playing on easy. My God, it's like if you play a game on easy, that's just stupid for a playthrough. That's not even a playthrough. That's not even a challenge. That's just dumb. Doing it on easy. That's no, that's like why I assumed that most other YouTubers were doing it on hard, but I didn't know that then. Thank you, Bunny, for the super chat. Is the game actually hard? It depends. It's not as hard as Mafia Definitive Edition. Like, Mafia Definitive Edition on Classic is way more difficult. Like, in Mafia Definitive Edition, it's a lot easier to die. In Mafia The Old Country, you have more ammo, there's more ways to heal yourself. The hardest thing in Mafia The Old Country would probably be the boss fights. The boss fights, probably on hard difficulty, would probably be the hardest thing. But I did not lose one boss fight. The only boss fight I kind of lost was kind of at the end, the very final one. But that's not really technically a boss fight, it's more like a stealth mission. But that one messed up one sounded, but all the ones with the actual fighting, I won those on my first attempt. Okay, we can collect these, I play Killzone on easy. No, I'm not mocking you, April. Anyone who plays on easy, I'm not mocking people who play on easy. I'm not attacking people who play on easy. I'm talking about the YouTubers. I'm talking about YouTubers. If YouTubers are doing their playthroughs on easy and just rushing through the game, that's not even a playthrough. That's all it is just rushing the video out. That's not even like a playthrough is something you take your time with. That's why my parts are usually a bit longer than other YouTubers. I take my time with things. I look for collectibles. I read notes. I talk about history. I give commentary, like my thoughts on the situation, like stuff like that. I don't just rush through it just to show all the cutscenes like some YouTubers do. I don't like it when people do that. They just rush through the game, like just, like you know, and also all of my if you look at my entire Mafia: The Old Country playlist, not one of my Mafia videos has a spoiler in the thumbnail or the title. My Mafia videos are kind of like a little bit generic on what's going on, like Enzo finds out who the rat is, or like Enzo, like, you know, gets revenge, but it's nothing like that's gonna ruin the story for you. It's nothing that's gonna, you know, spoil it, like in the thumbnail or the title or something like that. So I tend to avoid that stuff. But the thing is that there are YouTubers out there, and I really hate these YouTubers. And these YouTubers, like, the second that a game comes out, they will post the most spoilery thing as like a separate video, like a character's death scene, for example. Like, they will post that, or like a betrayal. Like, they will post that with the thumbnail, and they'll say this character's death or this character's betrayal, like the first day that a game comes out, just for the views. I hate it when YouTubers do that. I really hate that. And that's one of the reasons I kind of rushed through Mafia on my own pace, because I wanted to complete the game before I got spoiled by it, because there was these YouTubers that were just spoiling the game constantly. You got spoiled by YouTube Shorts, so I'm sorry about that, Callie9, but, yeah. How old was Enzo in the end? Well, Enzo is 17 in 1903, and the game ends in 1907, so that means he's about 21, 22. Hey, Mario. What, my chat vertical today? What, you didn't get it, Sebi? I missed your super chat, I'm sorry. Let me see. Thank you, Bunny, and thank you, Eric D. What would you think about a Goodfellas game and the developers using AI to voice Ray Liotta's character since he is no longer with us? I would not want a Goodfellas game because we know how Goodfellas ends as a the movie. So no, I wouldn't want that. If I want to play like a game, it's something that I'm not gonna know how it's gonna end. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Vertical. I apologize then. I'll try to Royale, but it's not at the top of my list. The top of my list right now is to make a Mafia: The Old Country lore video. Enzo is 20 at the end of the game? Okay. I'll play Hitman again. Oh yeah, Scarface deserves a remaster. Okay, already up on this here. Okay, April. Sorry, Isabella. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Angelo. That's like reference to Leo's deal at the end of Mafia 2. Thank you for the super chat, dude. I just don't want to talk more about like Mafia: The Old Country, because I know there's people who are who haven't still finished it. Enzo might be the youngest character in Mafia series. Yeah, and Tommy in Mafia Definitive Edition is 30 years old at the start of the game, or 26. I think he's 26 at the start of the game, because the game takes place in 1930, so he's 26. Okay, guys, we can let Sebi win because he didn't get his trophy. I don't know why it glitched out on him. How did Sonny get Tommy's new number in Vice City? That's a good question. I don't know. I guess that's a plot point that's just overlooked. Let Sebi win this, guys. So he can get his trophy. Oh, you gotta do these targets, right? Forgot all about that. I had a rude customer earlier demanding my name. What? What happened? What's the most underrated movie I watched? To think about this one. Underrated? I forget the name of the movie. It was the last movie that I saw. And I haven't seen a movie in years, so this was the last movie I saw. The movie was, I forget the title of the movie. Somebody's gonna know the movie probably. It's a Korean War movie. It came out a few years ago. It's about the Navy's first black pilot. Fighter pilot. I forget the name of the movie. He's dogfighting like North Korean MiG-15s in the movie. I forget the name of the movie. Damn, I saw it a couple years ago. It was actually a decent movie. It was based on a true story. No, does anybody know the name of the movie I'm talking about? Devotion. Yes, Devotion. That's it. That is the movie. You're right. Yes. Have you seen Midway? Yes, I've seen Midway. I actually own Midway, actually. I have a collection of World War II movies that's actually on my desk. And this is actually here, Midway. I actually have it right here, so. But yeah, I did watch Midway and I have the movie as well. Oh, I gotta go back here. Mafia 2 remake? Honestly, I don't want a Mafia 2 remake. I want them to focus on the next Mafia game. We already had a remake of Mafia 1, that was enough. The only way that I would be in favor of a Mafia 2 remake, the only way I would be in favor of it, is if they changed a few things in the storyline. Not like major plot points, like the story's still the same, but like they changed a few things in the story, like how like Mafia, you know how Mafia Definitive Edition changed a few things in the story? If they do something like that, where they change a few things in the story, then I'd be fine with it. One thing that I would want them to change is I would want them to explain who the fake cops are, those guys. And I also want them to explain the whole Henry rat situation. That I want more explanation on that. What just killed me? Okay. Was Henry a rat? Yeah. But I don't think you're gonna get it, Sebi here. The race is I think the race is glitched. We'll do it another time. You ever had a customer demand for your name and threaten to call corporate? Yeah. I've had that happen. You know, I'll tell you guys a crazy story. What happened to one of my best friends that I grew up with. He worked at it was Pep Boys or AutoZone. I think it was Pep Boys. Yes, because he worked at the place, the car parts and the tires and you know all the other stuff. I think it was Pep Boys. Yes. But anyways, this happened many years ago. But here's the backstory. My friend, this is a really good friend of mine. I grew up with him in the same neighborhood. I still talk to him today. But his father was from Mexico and his mother's from the Philippines. And he has his first name is a Spanish first name. What happens is when he's in the store, there was a customer that walks up to him in the store and just starts speaking Spanish to him in the store. And he says to him that I don't speak Spanish. And he didn't. Even though his father was from Mexico, he does not speak Spanish. He always spoke English to his father. So he had a Spanish first name, but he didn't speak Spanish. Now, that customer immediately switched from Spanish to English. Like, he spoke perfect English, and he started just complaining to him, like, just giving him an attitude and saying, like, you know, how can you have a Spanish first name and you don't speak Spanish? And just, like, you know, just giving him crap over that, just insulting him over that, and just making a scene out of that. And he told me that that was the stupidest customer that he's ever encountered. But that's one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard of. Like, you know, getting pissed off at somebody because they don't speak Spanish, or like, you know, insulting somebody because they don't speak another language. That is like, like I said, the customer knew how to speak English, but instead of switching to English, he just made such a big deal out of it and just started getting mad at him over that. But that was a situation that my buddy dealt with, and it was a really stupid customer. Exit with posse here. You got that trophy? Okay, good, Sebi. Sorry, professional. Nice customers weren't part of the deal. Thank you. Well, the customer assumed that because he had a Spanish first name and Spanish last name, I guess, that he spoke Spanish, but he didn't, and the customer got mad at him over that. I don't even know why that's his business. If you know, my friend never learned Spanish, but that's you know his choice. That's not something you should get pissed at somebody over. But that was I don't know why the customer got so mad about that. That's one of the dumbest things I've heard. That's one of the stupidest things I heard a customer ever get mad about is that. What did I hit? Oh, a horse. Hey, what's up, LC, LVC? I'll do it, and I'm also gonna do SOCOM later this year, Josh. Would I like more Mafia prequels? No, I'd like to see it, you know, go further further up. I used to work with a guy from Panama who was dark-skinned, so people from Haiti would try to speak Creole to him and would get mad when he couldn't. I don't understand this, why people would get mad at somebody for not speaking another language. I don't get this personally. Actually, you know what? Let me just, go back to my moonshine. At Disneyland right now, my feet ache from walking around. Oh, did you have fun, though? Thank you, Sleep Punch Man, for the super chat. I did, but I never did SOCOM 3 DHC. So she got mad and threatened to call corporate because I refused to give my name. Why did she even get mad at you in the first place? What was that about?
Good luck out there.
So, what shall we create?
There we go. Now we got a seller. Okay. Do you play with fans? Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
You have arrived. Bon. You are ready to drive, yes? Our clients are a little impatient for sure. We wish to make a good impression. These customers have shown they have some good taste. Their palate is simple, of course, but given their lack of culture, I have to admit that they have chosen well. These,
Because we were 1 hour before
drugs
closing and we didn't have what she
arrive,
wanted.
Quickly
He sounds like an
and
idiot.
in one piece, yes?
Honestly, Daniel, you could just do what I did. The last month that I was working in retail, I just don't know how your boss would react, so I don't want to get you in trouble, but the last month that I was working in retail, so I had basically 1 month left, and I didn't tell my boss I was going to quit yet, but I knew I was going to quit that month. But the last month that I was working, if a customer, gave me an attitude, I would basically say to them, sir, ma'am, I'm trying my best to help you. If you continue being rude to me, I'm just gonna, leave. That's what I would typically say. And if they, stopped and apologized, I would help them. If they continued being rude and continued giving me an attitude, I would actually just walk away and I would say, get somebody else to help you. I would refuse to help them. And what happened is that they, when you walk away from them, like, if you walk away from, like, a rude customer that's yelling at you, you know what usually happens? It's absolute, silence. Like, just, they're in absolute shock. Like, they don't even say anything. It's most of the time, there's absolute shock. Like, they just expect you to sit there and take their verbal abuse. That's what they expect. But if you just don't take it and you just walk away, they're so shocked that you did that. They think that you're basically their puppet. You're their servant. Oh yeah, I know the cutscenes are very long in Metal Gear Solid 4. Not at the moment, Dreadnought.
Damn folk.
I do that all the time. I walk away from a rude customer. Does your manager give you crap over it? Were both the Ming and Qing dynasty similar or very different? I actually don't know that much about ancient China and the dynasties in China. Weren't the kings, weren't they the ones that were the puppets under the Mongolians? The Mongolians had, was that the kings? I think that was the kings, right? That the Mongolians had as puppets when they ruled China? That's good then, Daniel. Then just keep doing that. If the customer is, like, rude to you, just walk away from them. Hey, Jimmy. My friends treated me terrible, and one of them called me a racial slur. If your friends treated you that way, they are not your friends. Stop hanging out with those people. Those people are toxic. I'm sorry they did that to you, but those people are... If your friends, or so-called friends, are treating you like that, they are not your friends.
Well, that's good, because there's a gang I want to tell you all about. Right nasty bastards they is. Awful. Done all manner of almost unspeakable things. Stolen kiddie milk, annoyed old ladies, worn hats in church, and even danced with lassies they wasn't engaged to. Well, that and far too much goddamn killing of folk. So, you're going to kill them for me, and we both make a packet. We will. So good luck. Bastards are hiding out in Stillwater Creek and Manteca Falls, southwest of Thieves Landing. Assume they're heavily armed and pretty nasty.
I think Sicilians were even more brutal than the Russian mafia.
Indeed. Okay?
One of my biggest regrets in life was not standing up to my fake friends in high school. Well, I mean, don't think about that too much, Vertical. You can basically just think, I'm not friends with these people anymore. I don't associate with these people anymore. That's about it. Is, you know, it sucks the experience that you went through, but just think I don't have to deal with them anymore. How can you see if someone is a fake friend? Real friends will be with you when, in bad times and good times. Fake friends will only be with you in good times. What are you talking about, D? Take one of them alive, just so we can drag the mission out and get a little bit more money. One time I had a rude customer ask me what time I got off. I told I'm not giving him that information. Yeah, that is not a customer's business. That is not a customer's business when you get off your shift. Damn. Oh, that one's dead. Oh well. Was Serbia innocent in World War I? Kind of. There's some belief that Serbia was involved with the Black Hand. Some people believe that, the government, but there is not definitive proof on that. How many years in the past is Red Dead Online 2 before the story mode? 1 year before the story mode. No, I don't think so. Okay, Gabinator. I don't think it's a dream that Tony has. Okay, I'll see you, Menace. Good night. Also, here's the thing is, Franz Duke Ferdinand was a massive scumbag in real life. A lot of people don't know that, but he was a massive scumbag. Franz Duke Ferdinand was like an Austrian supremacist. Like, he thought that Austrians were superior to other peoples. For example, like, Austria-Hungary was a union between Austria and Hungary, that both countries were supposed to be equal in this union, but it was largely dominated by Austrians. And what happened was, Franz Duke Ferdinand, his bodyguards were actually Hungarians, and he said to them that they better speak German, a civilized language. That's what he claims. And he insulted Hungarians. He thought that Hungarians were like backwards people, like they were just, he treated them like garbage, even though they were equal in a union. But he absolutely hated that his guards spoke in Hungarian, that they did not speak in Austrian, or German, I should say, because that's what the Austrians spoke. They spoke in German. But I will say this is, you don't want to piss off the people that are in charge of protecting your life. You don't want to do that. And that's, you know, Ferdinand was a massive scumbag. What is the reason Austria-Hungary existed? Because of the disasters that they've had, military disasters, like against the French, against the Ottomans. Do I speak Polish? Yes.
Presque parfait. D'accord.
Why was Silvio a great consigliere, but not a good boss? Silvio didn't know how to rally his men like Tony did. Silvio didn't know how to control his men like Tony did. Like, Silvio has the brains, but Tony has more of the brawn, I would say. Tony, like, the way that Tony can get his men mobilized is why he's a leader. But Tony isn't always the smartest person. So that's what I'll say is, a consigliere is not always the best at being a boss. They might be smart and good at giving advice, but they're not necessarily the best at being a boss. No, they never have D. I like Sam more in the Definitive Edition. Prawo jazdy, driving license in Poland. Yes, that's what it is. That is one hot dame. That is the worst line in the original Mafia game. I'm so happy they got rid of that in Mafia Definitive Edition. That was such a terrible line. That was so bad. And it made Tommy seem like a sociopath with that scene. He literally just murdered a woman, and he basically says, oh, well, that's one hot dame. That's, it was such a cringe and terrible line. I'm doing good, Andrew. How are you? Yeah, Sarah was greatly improved. Like, her character was just greatly improved in Mafia Definitive Edition.
Get out of the way, damn you!
Hey, Professional, if Ubisoft was making Watch Dogs 4, how would you want them to create the story and gameplay based on your opinions? I think that, you know what I think? I think Watch Dogs 4, you know what I think the perfect setting for Watch Dogs 4 would be? I think Hong Kong would be the perfect setting for Watch Dogs 4. that like this future where like the Chinese government is becoming more authoritarian in Hong Kong, violating people's civil liberties, and they have like this police state that's like spying on people with drones and everything like that. I think that'll be the perfect setting for Watch Dogs, would be Hong Kong. I mean, don't you guys think? Like with this they have this whole like Watch Dogs is this whole thing about like the government and giant corporations spying on you, and I think that like Hong Kong would be a perfect setting for that. But however, though, if they made a game where it was Hong Kong and the main enemies were the Chinese government, a game like that would cause massive controversy with China. It would never be sold in China, and on top of that, the game would also Ubisoft would be banned from ever doing business in China again. So they're never gonna do it. Hey, Professional, if Ubisoft... Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dax, for that super chat. Which GTA game do I think is better, Vice City or San Andreas? I like Vice City more, I guess, just for the time period, the 80s in Miami, but San Andreas is overall better gameplay and a better map. You know that, in that one DLC mission in Sleeping Dogs... That one DLC mission in Sleeping Dogs, where Wei has, like, that crazy car that he blows up the 18K with. Wei says in the mission, we're in Hong Kong, not in China. That's, like, what he says in the mission. Oh, that game's not getting allowed in China? Like, that's... Already lost social credit score for that. But that was, I remember Wei said that line. He said, we're not in China, we're in Hong Kong. You think bike crashes are going to be more brutal in GTA 6? I hope everything is more brutal. I hope there's gore in GTA 6, too. Can you post your message again, Zach, please? I hope there is chainsaws, too. If they do Vice City, they gotta do chainsaws. GTA 4, GTA San Andreas is the best map, and GTA 4 is the best story. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh.
You can't be back here yet. You ain't supposed to be here.
My favorite all-time GTA character, Nico. Yeah.
This ain't no wagon train.
Oh, crap. Where's the target? Oh, he's running away. Okay, crap. Oh, one moment, Zach. Let me look at it.
Oh, hell! Hey! God damn it! I'll wriggle out of this, and when I do...
You know what? You know what GTA, You know what GTA voice actor I always wanted to interview? I always wanted to ask him about filming, like the game.
Little rat.
I always wanted to interview Dimitri's actor, from GTA 4, but I gotta look into that one day, see if I can get in contact with him and do a video interviewing him, but I always wanted to interview him, and I wanted to just ask him about the character and, like, what he knew about it, and, like, what he was told about, like, the character, you know, how evil he was and stuff like that, but I always wanted to, you know, ask him more about, like, you know, Rockstar's ideas for, like, the character of Dimitri. Because I think Dimitri was the best, I think that Dimitri is the best antagonist in the series. Like, do you guys agree with me Dimitri's the best antagonist? I don't mean, like, a good person, but I mean, like, the best villain in the series, I think, was Dimitri. In Watch Dogs 4, Shang-Chi can be the main villain. Yeah, I guess, but yeah, or a character like Shang-Chi. Thank you, Angelo. Would I be up for playing Quake 2? In Quake 2, you take on a cybernetic, alien race called the Strogg, and I thought it would pique your interest since you played Half-Life. Do I have to play Quake 1 to understand it?
Just my luck, it happened again.
Who's the worst villain in the GTA series? It's either Devin Weston or Massimo in Liberty City Stories. I've played Tekken games before, but I don't really know the story, don't know much about them.
Of course. Come on now, yeah.
Massimo was just, like, he only made an appearance in 2 missions. Why were Tommy guns so popular in the Italian Mafia? The power they had, 45 ACP, the large magazine on them, their accuracy. Okay, Zach. Yeah, Massimo looks like Maduro. That's the funny thing. You're right on that.
Rat.
He looks like the dictator of Venezuela.
Oh, please put that gun.
It is Chase, but I guess they just put that in just for fun to have the 1911.
Oh, hell, not again.
Okay.
Look who it is, and kicking the boot.
Not really mystical race.
Won't you? It's all there for you. Hope it was worth it.
Do you think that Vincenzo should have been the main antagonist in Liberty City Stories? I know a lot of people have said that he should have been the main antagonist, the main villain. We're gonna be Metal Gear Solid Delta and Mafia 2. I'm gonna play some poker now here. Let's do that. Yeah, I'll do a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 4 one day. I'll do it. Okay, Mark, I'll take a look later. I think it's Metal Gear Solid 4, Hefe. The thing I never understood about Liberty City Stories is, what is Portland supposed to be in Liberty City Stories? Is it supposed to be New Jersey? Because Staunton Island is obviously Manhattan, but like, what is Portland? Is that New Jersey? And then also with Shoreside Vale, is that supposed to be like Queens and Long Island? Is that what that's supposed to be? The thing is, Long Island doesn't have any dams, like giant dams like that. They don't have it. So that's... Who's a worse human being, Dmitry Rascalov or Steve Haynes? Dmitry. Yeah, we're doing Liberty City Stories this year. Oh, I should have, Actually, no, I wouldn't have won that, because he's got a king, too. Yeah, I guess I am a little too Adrian. I remember when you crashed a bike in the ocean during your GTA Liberty City Stories playthrough. Yeah, that one was funny. And also, when we do the Liberty City Stories playthrough, that'll be in 2 months, because it's October. I'm gonna have a special video for that, and it'll be top 5 worst things Tony Cipriani did. That'll be a fun one. I know people will be excited for that one. Tony did some really bad things. I have done Liberty City Stories, but it's been 4 years since I did the playthrough. And this is gonna be the 20th anniversary, so it's gonna be fun. I might do that, Giltend. Okay, Josh. Yes, yes, Zach. You know it. What's that, Phoenix? Radic, I remember him, but Radic on Elite difficulty in Killzone 2 was the most annoying boss. Like, that was just really bad. Portland looks like Brooklyn and Queens. I'll play it one day. GTA Advance. I gotta play it before GTA 6 comes out. Polly and Mafia 1 Gunner. Polly in Sopranos is a sociopath. At least Pauline Mafia Definitive Edition has a little bit of a conscience. But Gunnar, there was something I wanted to ask you. I don't think I saw your comment the other day. You told me that in Metal Gear Solid 3 there is a reference to the Cotton Massacre, because it takes place during the Cold War. When is this exactly? Is this like a cutscene, or is this like a conversation you hear between the Soviet soldiers, or like, what is this exactly? Can you tell me what part of the game that's in so I don't miss it? Because I did want to talk about that when I get to it, the history. Is it early in the story? Late? Like, when is it exactly? Probably knows more about video games than any channel I've encountered. Well, thank you, Alexander. Seven and a 6, okay. Do you happen to learn about that history in Vietnam, Gunner, or is that something that you researched on your own? He actually participated in it, Gunner? Two, 2, and 3? Wait, so what did they teach you in school about it, Gunner? Let's see if he's bluffing. Damn. Which case was that again? Again, Adrian, remind me, which case was that? What happened in the case? If you remind me. The gameplay of Mafia the Old Country is phenomenal. With how the story ended, what do you think happens? Thank you, Vicky, for the super chat. I don't want to talk that much about it because there's still people who haven't finished the storyline, but I will say this. I think that Enzo's child is going to be a playable character in the next Mafia game. I think that's what they were setting up Mafia the Old Country for. I think that they were setting up Mafia the Old Country for Enzo's child to be a playable character. The one of malpractice and Maya getting arrested. Maya getting arrested. Maya gets arrested a bunch of times. I gotta remember which... Hang on, let me look up. Let me see a picture of him. Because then if I see a picture of the character, I'll remember the case. Okay. Okay, hang on. You said it was... Okay. You said it was Dr. Gray? Oh, I think I remember, which one you're... Oh, Turner Gray. Okay, him. I remember him now. Yes, this is... I remember the one where the nurse killed him. I remember this case in the game. Yes. He was a narcissist. Let's see, hopefully we can get a good hand here. They didn't teach you about the gulags? Well, that's... Vietnam's education system is extremely biased. It favors the communist side. It doesn't say anything bad about the Soviets. Let me ask you something, Gunner. In Vietnam, are they at least taught about how evil of a person, like how psychotic Stalin was? Like, are you guys taught that in school there? Or like how bad Mao Zedong was? What kind of government does Vietnam have? Seems similar to China. Vietnam is a dictatorship. It is, it's a one-party state. It's essentially, it's one-party state is basically a nice way of saying dictatorship. That's essentially what that is. So if you ever hear the term one-party state, it means dictatorship. It's a nice way of saying dictatorship without saying dictatorship, essentially. But a one-party state means only that party is allowed to run, and that's typically the Communist Party. You know, for example, like, you know, what was it, Fascist Italy was a one-party state. Communist China is a one-party state. The Soviet Union is a one-party state. Nazi Germany was a one-party state. But whenever you hear that term one-party state, just know that's a fancy way of saying dictatorship without saying it directly. Here's the thing about Vietnam. If I had to choose, I'd rather live in Vietnam versus China, because while Vietnam is a dictatorship, it's not nearly as bad as China. Like, China is just way more strict and way worse with the censorship. At least in Vietnam, they have a little bit more freedom, but it's still not completely free. It's still a dictatorship at the end of the day. It is not as bad as China. That GRU colonel that I mentioned was a Stalinist who wanted to overthrow Khrushchev. Oh. Okay, okay, Gunner. Yeah, I know you're from Vietnam also, Minion Dave, but, did you guys learn about how, you know, evil Stalin was? You didn't learn about that in schools in Vietnam? Vietnam doesn't teach the Holodomor. Oh, well. That's horrible, too. Oh, you aren't. What are you taught specifically about Stalin? Are you taught that he was, like, a good person? Can I speak Polish? Yes. Tak, ja umiem gadać po polsku. Yes, I can speak Polish. That's what I said. There we go. Well, what did they say specifically when mentioning Stalin? Did they say that he was like a good man or something? Well, a lot of the Killzone leaders are supposed to be based on like on real dictators. Like for example, what is it? Stahl is supposed to be based on Joseph Goebbels. Vissari is supposed to be based on Hitler. What's his name? The General Orlok is supposed to be based on Stalin. So it's like a lot of the antagonists in the Killzone series are based on like real dictators and real like, you know, evil people. Yeah, but Zach, I just have a lot of other games to play at the moment, but I'm open to playing it in the future. What was the Holodomor? The Holodomor was in the 1930s, and it was when Stalin had basically caused a massive famine in Ukraine, and millions of people died. Like, people just collapsed in the street from hunger. People died. A lot of children died. Millions of people. It was the worst famine that happened in the Soviet Union. They only taught that Stalin is one of the greatest Soviet leaders. Vietnam doesn't use the word dictatorship. It, like I said, is they use the term one-party state. And the thing is, though, is that no dictatorship ever calls itself a dictatorship. That's what people don't know. There's not... I cannot think of a single dictatorship on this planet that actually calls itself a dictatorship. They always call themselves something else. The only dictator that I've... And here's the thing is, most dictators do not admit that they are dictators. Most dictators do not. If you ask them, are you a dictator? Like, if a journalist asks them, they'll say, no, I'm the elected president or I'm the elected leader of the country. That's what dictators usually say. They never say that they are actual dictators. There's only one dictator who actually ever admitted, whoever admitted that he was a dictator, and that was Lukashenko, the dictator of Belarus. He said it in an interview. He said, I'm a dictator, so what? That's literally what he said in an interview. And he was the only dictator that I know of that ever has admitted to that, ever. Like, no other dictator has ever admitted to that. And another thing about dictators is dictators use specific titles to avoid being called dictators. Well, I'll give you an example. Stalin was never called a dictator. Do you know what he was called? He was called the General Secretary of the Soviet Union. Whenever you hear that term General Secretary, it usually means communist dictator. So Stalin was General Secretary of the Soviet Union. He wasn't dictator, General Secretary, Comrade General Secretary, I should say instead. Mao Zedong was called Chairman. He was called Chairman Mao. That was his title, Chairman, but he was a dictator. Kim Il-sung, the dictator of North Korea, and Kim Jong-un today. Kim Jong-un is not called a dictator. He's called the Supreme Leader of North Korea. That's what he's called, Supreme Leader. What else is it? Hitler was not called a dictator. Hitler was called Führer. Mussolini was not called dictator. He was called Duce, which is the same thing as Führer, but in Italian. I don't know what that was about there. Is there any other dictators that I can think of that use, like, titles? Yeah, but, basically is that most dictators, they have some kind of title, usually, and they use that instead of dictator, because, and the reason for that is because no dictator wants to be called a dictator publicly, because that looks really bad for their image. They always want to be called something else to make it up like they're not a dictator, but they are. I learned more from history from Pat than I'll ever learn in school. Thank you, Angel. That's why in Vietnam, Secretary General is actually higher than the president. Is the General Secretary, is he like the dictator of Vietnam? Because I know Vietnam is a dictatorship, but it's I'm assuming it's a Secretary General that has all the power. But in Vietnam, they taught that Castro has always been a communist and not a grifter like he actually was. Well, Castro could not make up his mind on who he was when he was younger. He was a liar and a fraud. There's Ayatollah in Iran. Yes, how could I forget that? Yes. What did the dictator of Singapore call himself? I don't know. That I do not know. Possibly Prime Minister. You're talking about Lee Kuan Yew. That's what you're talking about. He was also Trudeau's biological father. Oh my god, that's funny. For people that don't know what that guy's talking about is Trudeau's father used to be very close with Fidel Castro, and his mother was very close with Fidel Castro, and Fidel Castro was known to have affairs with like a lot of women. Like he had affairs with so many women, and there's this conspiracy theory out there, like people think that Trudeau is Castro's like biological son, because they say that Trudeau looks like Castro, but I don't think that's true. But it is. You did make me laugh there, Slayer. that was yeah, I know what you're talking about, the photos, but let me see, do you think GTA 6 will be better than GTA 4? I think GTA 6 will probably be the best game in the series. I think they can't mess that up. that's a mercy kill that you can do on animals that attack you if they're wounded. If someone rejected a drink from the boss, would they get whacked? Yeah, possibly. That is extremely disrespectful to the boss. In Vietnam, they made it look like Cuban Revolution was a communist revolution, completely ignoring the fact that there was people who fought for a real democracy in Cuba at the time. Yeah, that is true. And also, I bet you they make it look like, I bet you they make it seem like the Bay of Pigs, soldiers were, like, imperialists, right? That's probably what they make it seem like. But they were actually fighting for their country. No patriot wants their country to be turned into a communist hellhole, but it's unfortunate the Bay of Pigs invasion wasn't successful, and Cuba is a really, you know, bad place to live today. Are Polish people as patriotic about their country as Americans? Yeah, and I can make the you can make the argument maybe Polish people are even a bit more patriotic than Americans. Which dictatorship is worse, Cuba or Kazakhstan? Probably, I'd say Cuba, because at least Kazakhstan allows free market. At least it allows people to, you know, surf the internet and actually, at least make money. It's not a completely free country, like, you cannot trash talk the president. But I'd much rather live in Kazakhstan than live in Cuba. But I guess I will be going here, guys. I will, it was, Nigerian Cybercrimes Division. That's what it was that I called the... Why do I defend fascists and fascist militaries? I don't. What are you talking about, dude? You know, I've said several times that Nazi Germany was the most evil empire in Europe. I don't know what you're talking about. The Spadaros are a glorified crew. Thank you. Thank you, Royale. Thank you, Slayer. I'll still stick around for 1 or 2 minutes. If anybody has any questions they want to ask me, I'll answer your questions before I go here. Have a good evening, Pro. Thank you, Hefe. Thank you. What do I think about Nicolas Maduro? He's a dictator. He's a scumbag. You know, the, Maduro and Chavez have destroyed Venezuela, a country that, you know, Venezuela should be one of the richest countries in the world, but it's a disaster because of what, you know, what the socialists did in Venezuela. It was a complete disaster. What's for dinner, Pro? I don't know, dude. I'd have to check. I'll see you, Phoenix. Could you do a playthrough of Call of Duty, what just happened? What the? I got hit by a deer. Are you a capitalist? Yeah. Yeah, I identify as a capitalist. But here's the thing you do realize that, you do realize, though, that, like, fascism, for example, is not a capitalist ideology. Fascism is very much a controlled economy. Like, fascist countries have, for example, like, you know, like, if you look at fascist countries, you look at, like, Spain, you know, Italy, Germany, Croatia, any other countries I can think of that are fascist. Yeah, those are the 3 that I can think of at the top of my head. But fascism is very much like a controlled economy. It is not a capitalist system. Like, people think, for example, that, like, fascist countries are free market societies. They are not. Like, for example, in, like, Nazi Germany, the economy was more free than, like, the Soviet Union, where in the Soviet Union there was no private industry allowed. It was all owned by the government. In Nazi Germany, the corporations were meant to work for the government, and the government heavily involved themselves in, like, corporate affairs, regulating the economy, getting involved in stuff like that. So these were not, like, you know, free market societies. They were very much controlled economies. They were the government-run economies. That's basically what I would put it as. Finished Mafia the Old Country and shed tears when the Mafia 2 theme played. Yeah, I saw it right away too, Aris Harbinger. Thank you for the super chat. Isn't fascism a racist system as well? Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. It is a racist system. Basically is, what fascism is fascism is a form of, authoritarianism, ultranationalism, and fascists think that their country is superior to everyone around them. They think that they are the best. They think that other people are inferior to them. It definitely is a racist ideology, 100%. Will I play Mafia, or will I play Marvel Spider-Man 1 this year? If I have the time. So, like, Poland, what are you talking about? Are you saying that Poland today is a fascist country? Like, I really hope that you're not saying that. Let me see, what's the difference between Tommy and Enzo from Mafia? The main difference between Tommy and Enzo from Mafia is, I would say, Enzo followed all of Teresi's orders without question. Everything. Everything that Teresi told Enzo to do, he did it without question. Dude, you really think that Poland today is a fascist country? Are you serious? You know, I will tell you something, is, my father is from Poland, but my father is not a Slav. My father is a Tatar. So, his people are a Central Asian people. And they have lived in Poland for 600 years. And a huge part of my father's family is Muslim, and they are a religious minority in Poland, and none of my family members think that Poland is a fascist country. So I don't know how you can possibly think that a country like Poland today is a fascist country. In Poland, you can say whatever you want against the government. You are you are not going to get arrested for that. You can say whatever you want against the government, and you're not going to get arrested. So I don't know if that's a troll or if you're being serious, but if you think that Poland is a fascist country, you have to seriously rethink everything there. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but that's just a stupid statement to have there at that point. Thoughts on, and also I will tell you something, if you did a bit of research into Poland, you would know this about Poland. In Poland, it's illegal to deny the Holocaust. In Poland, you cannot deny the Holocaust. That is illegal. Nobody, you cannot do that. You'll get arrested for that in Poland. And on top of that, the swastika is illegal. So any Nazi, flags, any Nazi symbols are illegal in Poland. So you're gonna call Poland a fascist country, and yet, Poland has laws against, denying the Holocaust, and also, bans, any kind of Nazi imagery. So I don't know how anybody in their right mind can say that Poland is a fascist country. That's one of the stupidest statements that I've heard. Not only does Poland also ban the swastika, Poland also bans the Soviet flag. So the communist Soviet flag is banned in Poland. The Bandera flag is also banned. The red and black flag, that's a flag that was used by Ukrainian fascists during World War II. That flag is also banned in Poland. So it's like, Poland does not tolerate fascism. So I don't know how you can say that Poland is a fascist country. Just such a stupid statement. I highly suggest you rethink that and you apologize over that, because a lot of people will find that offensive. I don't get offended easily, but I'm telling you, a lot of Polish people would find that extremely offensive, especially after what they went through. Hey, Pro, which GTA character can you beat in a fight? I don't think I can beat any GTA character in a fight. I cannot imagine myself beating any GTA character in a fight. Maybe Zero I could beat in a fight, but most of them, no. That's it. Yeah, the Bandera people, they were basically supporters of Stefan Bandera in Ukraine. They were Ukrainian fascist, ultra-nationalists. They went to Polish villages with axes, and they basically killed children in Poland. It was extremely brutal. It was really, really bad. He is absolutely hated in Poland. Very evil man. One of the most evil people in Eastern Europe's history. Why are you just running around? I guess I was answering questions. But I guess I will be, going here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Is there any game based on Pablo Escobar? I think, isn't the game Narcos has Pablo Escobar in it? I think that game has it, but... How would I rate Mafia: The Old Country? 9 out of 10. How evil is Terezi? 9 out of 10. Like, literally, I would just put him under Dimitri level of evil, but he's still very evil. Well, I guess I will be going here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this stream today, do drop a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.